On the eve of the SEC meetings, Greg Sankey, the commissioner, would not reveal his preference between a 9-game conference football schedule versus an 8-game conference football schedule. Or did he? Welcome to episode 224 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash that like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. Let's not waste any more time. Seth Emerson from The Athletic writes a beautiful article. Greg Sankey, eve of SEC meetings this week. This is a very dramatic week in all of college football. Big 12 meetings, SEC meetings. Holy smokes. The SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey on the advantages of a 9-game football schedule format. Again, Seth Emerson, The Athletic. Destin, Florida. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey privately has made his preference for a football schedule format clear to his members. And if his schools can't reach a consensus this week at the SEC meetings, Sankey could step in to try to push the decision toward what he personally thinks is in the conference's best interest. What that would be, going to 9 games or staying at 8, Sankey would not say on the eve of the SEC meetings. But he spoke to a small group of reporters on Monday night. One could come away thinking the commissioner favored going to 9 games. The league, at the forefront of college athletics, does not stand still. And this is the league at the forefront of college athletics, Sankey said. Now, whether change happens immediately is part of the careful consideration and a deep consideration. The focus of the debate is 2 options: a 9-game schedule with each team having 3 annual opponents, then rotating the other 6 games, an 8-game schedule with 1 annual opponent and rotating the other 7 games. Each option would allow every team to play every other team at least twice every 4 years. Each option eliminates divisions. Georgia President Moorhead, whose school is seen as favoring 9 games, said last week that getting more compensation from the conference media partner ESPN was needed if it would add a 9th conference game. So the Georgia president saying, yeah, we'll add a 9th conference game, but more money has to be added to the pot from their media partner ESPN. But Sankey, the commissioner, downplayed that Monday, at least saying it should not be a guiding factor. And here is the PATC money shot in this article. Money follows, it doesn't lead. If all you do is chase money, then you make really bad decisions, Sankey said, adding later, the money doesn't just come from one source, the media source. If all we do is one source of revenue, then we're at great risk. Ticket sales are an enormous source of revenue. The importance in the value and interest in conference versus non-conference competition, there's money inherent there without ever talking about the media compensation. Another consideration, preserving rivalries on an annual basis. In the 8-game format, Auburn and Georgia would not play every year, nor would Tennessee and Alabama, nor would Texas versus Texas A&M. Not in an 8-game format, they would not. They're huge games on the scale of college football games. Huge games, Sankey said. And we have had an opportunity to play them every year or every other year. It's not like we're going to play them every 12 years. Sankey, to be clear, was careful not to reveal his preference was 9. But he kind of did so, didn't he? After the interview session, he's pointed out that he wasn't asked the benefit of staying at 8 games. So he was, and he pointed to what Kentucky and other 8-game proponents have said. More home games and an easier path to bowl eligibility. But wait for it here. Sankey then kind of goes against that argument. But during the session, Sankey also offered the counterpoints. When we've run the numbers, it's not like we see massive ineligibility coming from a 9-game schedule, Sankey said. And we also saw it in the COVID year when we played 10 conference games. The interest is high for our games. The viewership on our network that year was at a record level because we weren't playing the kind of games that are drawing the same kind of passion. So you can see Sankey is most definitely In our strongly held opinion here at PATC, Sankey is for the 9-game conference format. The SEC meetings begin Tuesday with coaches and athletic directors who also will meet Wednesday. The presidents then arrive later in the week and hold votes Friday, which is when any vote on the schedule would happen. Oklahoma and Texas will be present and have a voice in the room, but will not have a vote, not on this subject. A simple majority is all that's required. Sankey confirmed, and he said he would be comfortable with that, but it does have to be a majority. Sankey would not break a 7-7 vote. That's why a decision may not happen this week. There could also be a stopgap arrangement to at least settle the 2024 season, 8 games, preserving the traditional rivalries while hoping for more clarity and a firm decision for 2025 and beyond. A stopgap would extend into the 25 season because the new college playoff contract, whenever it happens, would begin in 2026 and should be more lucrative. One argument for a stopgap schedule is if the SEC with the 9 games, then every school would have to cancel at least one non-conference game in the 2024 season, and it's getting real late in the ball game to be doing that. It's getting real late in the process to do that. Sankey called that a big issue. So I think we're at least looking at a stopgap schedule of 8 conference games for the 2024 season. Still making a decision as soon as this week is the preferred option. Boy, Sankey would love the SEC to make a final decision on this. And finally, I would prefer not to continue to circle the airport with the airplane and would prefer to land it, Sankey said. And if his schools remain divided, would Sankey just have to say that one option was in the best interest of the league? Maybe, sure, he said. I've allowed intentionally the conversation to play out without taking a position publicly. Privately? Yeah, he's for the 9 game. I have made clear what I think should happen eventually inside the room. So Greg Sankey, he's made it clear in private. He wants to go forward with a 9-game conference schedule in the SEC. Of course, he would like ESPN to pay more money. I think probably Sankey believes ESPN will eventually put up the extra money for this to get done. But Sankey is for a 9-game schedule in private. He won't say it public. He would love the presidents to make a clear majority vote to say that they want the 9-game football schedule. There is a lot of drama in college football right now. SEC scheduling wise, Pac-12, the Big 12 having meetings this week with the center stage being possible expansion for the Big 12. I think we're going to be finding out some information possibly this morning or later today in regards to Big 10 scheduling with the Pacific Network, figuring out a schedule for Pacific Network. I think we're going to be hearing news about that today. Lots of stuff going on this week. Big 12 meetings, SEC meetings. Holy smokes. Stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner. Dramatic week up ahead. Until next time. From all of us at PATC to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other. Thank you so very much.